It's now time for Remember When with Uncle John. John Guess, Ouachita County's resident storyteller and local historian. Sit back now and enjoy a walk down memory lane as John recalls the days of yesteryear in his own unique way. You never know, some of it might even be true. So here's Uncle John, along with his trusty sidekick, Kelly Blair.
Back on Remember When with Uncle John. Well, here we are at the middle part of the week, and that means it is Wrestling Wednesday around here on the Remember When with Uncle John show.
Well, you know, we didn't touch on Jarrett's passing a couple of weeks ago. We had other important things to talk about, but, you know, Jarrett was a very important figure in the wrestling community. Trained by Tojo Yamamoto, he debuted in 1965 as a wrestler, retired active competition in 1988. But, you know, he was very instrumental in the middle part of the United States, you know, in the Memphis area, as a promoter and a matchmaker and a booker. Ended up working for Vince McMahon, you know, in the WWF. But a very, you know, of course, Jeff Jarrett's dad. But, you know, very instrumental in the wrestling business for a long time. As a promoter, matchmaker, and a wrestler.
Yeah, and I'll be honest.
Came up with a lot of angles that went on to be famous, you know, and got a lot of people got their start in the wrestling business working for Jarrett.
It was a great place. Memphis was a great place for them to get started because Memphis was one of those, you went to the same town on the same night every week. You know,
right.
Monday night was Memphis. You know, like Thursday night would have been
Jonesboro,
yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, Friday is the same place.
Yeah.
So you had to be creative. You had to really go above and beyond to keep the people interested and keep them cheering and keep them booing and all that kind of stuff. Jarrett had a great mind for wrestling business. I'll be honest, I don't remember him wrestling or any of that at all.
I don't either.
You know, by the time we got to the 80s, he was full-fledged promoter over there, and not the CWA, not Mid-Southern instead of Mid-South. You just called it Memphis.
Right.
That's what it was, Memphis Wrestling.
And a lot of people got their start there. They came up. They had some, you know, between him and Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee and those people over there, they came up with some of the greatest angles, some of the greatest storylines. And, you know, like Kamala got his start there.
Yep.
So many people like that got their start in the Memphis area.
What was it? Harris? Jack Harris? No.
James Harris.
James Harris. Was nothing but James Harris.
Sugar Bear Harris at one time,
Yep.
You know. But, I mean, just, you know, they
came up with the Rock and Roll Express.
Right, and it was just a great place to be. A bunch of great minds over there. And he's been missed for a while. He's been inactive, but he will be missed, and a great asset to the wrestling community for decades.
Including what you and I agree is the greatest angle of all time, Andy Kaufman in Memphis.
Kaufman and Jerry Lawler, the greatest angle, considered by everybody, the greatest angle in wrestling of all time.
Absolutely.
And of course, I want to touch on, folks, the Haybarn Championship Wrestling, who is the stationed in the Prescott area, Prescott and Hope. They're having matches this Saturday night in Prescott. It's called Leprechaun's Luck, you know, for St. Patrick's Day. It's there at 522 West 1st South Street there in Prescott. The doors open at 5:30. The bell time's at 6. You and I went last month to Hope. It was about 4 hours worth of matches. Every match was good. Every performer was good. They're getting better all the time. We want folks to come out. We're actively working on trying to get a place for them to come here in Camden later on in the year, you know, hopefully before it gets hot summertime. But it's right there in Prescott. It's $10 to get in. It's, like I said, it's going to be several hours of good entertainment, good storylines, good athletics, good wrestlers, a lot of, and you're right there at them. You know, you're not in a nosebleed seat somewhere. There ain't a bad seat in the house. So want everybody to come out to Prescott. It's not hard to find. It's right there on the Highway 67, like going to Hope. Right there on your right, going out of town. When you get to the red light in Hope and Prescott, just turn left. It's about 3 blocks down there. You can't miss it. Right past the car wash. But bell time at 6. The gates open at 5:30. They got a good concession stand. There'll be people.
Had a food truck last time.
Had a food truck last time, but the wrestlers will come out. You'll get a chance to see them and talk to them and mingle with them. You and I got to go backstage last time. So just want everybody to come out and support them. They're really coming on to be a good organization. They're going to be here. They're going to be around, and it's local. And you ain't got to drive nowhere. You ain't got to pay a bunch of money. You ain't got to drive very far to go see them. And I promise you, you'll enjoy it.
Well, and the comparison I always make, John, it's kind of like having that local band that you love to go watch and everything. Not as much smoke and lights and mirrors and all that going on with this and everything, but a quality show. And, after a while, you just feel like these guys. They're not just performing for you, but they're your buddies out there putting on a great show. So come on out and check it out, folks. It sure is a whole lot of fun. Hey, that's going to wrap up Remember When with Uncle John for today, but we do want to thank Sherwin-Williams House Paint, ProMed Ambulance Service, The Shopper's Guide, and Prescott Raceway for being our sponsors on this wonderful little show.
Absolutely.
All right, John, we'll see you tomorrow, man.
See you tomorrow, Kelly.
You've been listening to Remember When with Uncle John on Y95. This broadcast can be heard each weekday morning at 6:45 on South Arkansas's favorite station, Y95.